Hey guys, Butch Hartman here. I've got a very special artist guest. His name is Dave Thomas. He worked on El Tigre. Is that right? Do you speak Spanish?
Oui.
What? Por favor, rolling things.
Show though. I mean,
Oh, I know.
thick with talent.
I know. We really stressed writing and we stressed art. We love stressing the art, but we always stress the writing on top.
Absolutely.
We work. In fact, you and I worked together on one great episode, a elementary school with Foop and Poof.
Oh, that was so fun.
Remember that? It was called Love Triangle.
Yeah.
With Goldie Glow, the
Yep.
triangle girl, and Foop was in the class play, and he wanted to sabotage it because Foop wanted to play Mr. Cookie. I want to play Mr. Cookie.
That's right.
Yeah. And then Foop auditioned with this big, huge Shakespearean soliloquy. And what did Poof do? He went poof poof. Everyone's crying.
Genius, weeping. Oh, that's the greatest.
Crying.
That was beautiful. My life is meeting.
Exactly.
Incredible.
But so funny. And I mean, and then what did you work on for me after that? You worked with me. We'll talk about El Tigre and all that in a second.
Yep.
Let's go in Butch Hartman order for a moment.
Yep.
Then you touched Danny Phantom.
Danny
briefly.
Phantom. Yeah, briefly.
You boarded one episode. I believe.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun.
And I think the audience wants to know which one you boarded. Do you remember the one you boarded?
I don't remember the name of it.
I don't remember it either, but it was one they go to the water park. They go to
Thank
the
God
water
it's not
park.
just
I don't know
me.
which one it was. But
Yeah.
that was the one.
Yeah.
Sam is like, doesn't want to be in the sun. She's all dark at
Yeah.
the water park. And I forget which one that was, but that's the one you worked on.
Yeah. This is probably not for broadcast.
You can say whatever you want. We have editing. Dave, we have editing power here.
No, it was great because the head writer at the time, a great guy, I really like him. He was working on a lot of stuff.
Yeah, I remember him. Yes,
he was working on several other shows because there's like, well, yeah, why can't I write 3 shows at the same time?
Sure, why not?
You guys really ruined. Like, I was just like, I am not that talented. I should never do this. I can't run 3 shows at a time. It's just like, I felt so inadequate. But I remember getting the script from him, and it's like, ugh.
This doesn't make any sense.
Like, it literally makes no sense.
And Dave, that's exactly how I felt all those times too. Yeah.
So it's like, and I would go like, oh man, and so I went to his office and I'd like made notes. I was really nervous to talk to him about like changing things because I really respected him as a writer. He's very funny, really great writer.
Yes.
And I went to his office and I'm like, hey man, like, I hope you don't mind, but I changed a few things. He's like, yeah, that's great. Just do it. Oh, okay. That's not so. I think I can do this.
Yeah. There you go. Well, I'm glad you. Well, thank you.
Well, and then I bored the whole thing out, and then while I'm doing it, I'm like, wow, that guy doesn't care. I'm gonna add this in. This is gonna be great. I'm gonna change that. And we get into the board pitch, and you walk in the room, and I'm like, oh my god, Butch has no idea what I've done. I've completely rewritten this episode, and then like self-doubt hits you. Like, I don't know if this is any good at all.
Right.
Like, I'm just gonna.
Did I like it?
You did.
Oh, good.
You did. It wound up on
See?
air just like that. You're like, hey, that was great, and nobody knew. Now you're finding out for the first time. That episode, nothing at all like what was.
No. Trust me. There were many episodes with that same individual, and I understand exactly what you mean. Yeah, we'll talk about that later. But
yeah.
But again, you killed that board. You did a great job.
I screwed up. I screwed up one thing. I remember afterwards, like I'm sweating. I'm like, oh my god, like I changed that. Like, Butch is not gonna like this. I'm in trouble with the boss. Like, I kept all my stuff. Like, I'm putting stuff in a box. I'm getting ready to leave. And then I think your assistant at the time was it Molly?
Molly was my first assistant. My second assistant was Austin. Third assistant was Joanna. Mm-hmm. Were you there in the Molly?
For all of them. Joanna? I was there when Joanna became a writer.
Yeah.
She's now a very successful writer.
She's a very successful writer. She's doing, because Butch Hartman gives people chances.
You do.
Yeah. No, but she was great. But Becky was after her. Remember
Becky,
that?
yeah, of course.
Remember Becky Wangberg? Yeah. Becky also became a writer too.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Becky became a writer, yeah.
That's great. So whoever it was knocks maybe it might have been Deirdre, even more scary, the line producer.
Yeah.
Dave, Butch would like to talk to you in his office. So I'm like, oh God. Well, it was nice knowing everybody. I'm like shaking hands on the way up there. I'm like, well, this is it. It was a good run.
I had the only office up this flight of stairs.
Up the stairs. It was like, oh God, it's like the long walk. Dunk, 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 dunk.
Yeah, you had to walk up the
I
stairs.
stick my head in there. Butch, hi, yeah. You're like, yeah, come on in. I'm like, oh God. You're like, have a seat. And you're like, I want to talk to you about your board. And I'm like, oh no. Oh God.
Oh God, what did I say?
What did I do? You're like, yeah, I really got to talk to you about this. And I'm like, I'm done. This is all over. And you put the storyboard down in front of me, and I'm like, yep, there you go. And you go, the characters have 5 fingers, not 4. And I'm like, oh, God, thank God.
That's all I said?
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
my God. Oh, wow. Well, Dave, I still want to talk to you about that.
Yeah.
That's why I had you in here today.
Next time, Dave, just remember 5 fingers instead of 4. I'm like, oh, okay. Oh, thank God.
By the way, that was probably the 50th meeting I'd had that day. and every other meeting was someone was either crying or someone's work had to be completely redone.
Right.
Yours was the only one. You're one of the only people I didn't have to completely redo their work. I got to tell you, it was amazing.
And Ben Balistreri, who's
Ben, too, yes.
unbelievable.
Yeah, he worked on the Ben. We got to Ben in here someday, but Ben did the amazing designs on Crash Nebula.
Yeah,
the pilot we
that's
did.
right.
Remember that pilot we did?
The backdoor pilot you did.
The backdoor
Didn't
pilot.
you sneak it in?
We snuck
as,
it in.
You're
We
like,
snuck it in. Yeah.
It's just, oh no, this isn't a pilot. This is an average episode of Fairly Odd
Yeah,
Parents.
exactly.
And you brought in a whole new
We
team.
actually did it as a pilot, and then they made me
Okay.
put it in Fairly Odd because they weren't going to make it as a show.
Okay.
So I had to put it in the show.
Make
I have
your
to
money
show
back.
this somewhere.
Yeah.
So we put it in. But that was back when I was just trying to get pilots made like crazy.
That was great. That was Eric Weiss and Ben Balistreri.
And Steve Silver.
Steven Silver.
Yep.
Incredible. And I got to do the bumpers for that.
I remember that. Yeah.
I was so excited to be part of
Yeah,
that
because I
team.
trusted you. Dave can do the bumpers, meaning the Fairly Odd Parents moments before and after.
We'll wrap around.
Exactly. Dude. Oh, that was amazing. And then you had a huge hand in Tough Puppy. You want to talk about that at all? Remember,
Yeah.
What was your experience like on Tough Puppy?
That was terrific. Like I remember, like when you had the idea for it, we were still on. I came back to work on more Fairly Odd Parents.
Yeah, because you would. Let's jump to LT Gray for a sec. Because you worked on LT Gray.
Yeah.
What did you? Now, for me, you were a board artist and just fantastic. And you definitely helped with the writing. We gave you writing credit when you helped out and stuff like that. And then you jumped over to LT Gray, and you were you a director over there? You were a producer
I
over
was
there?
the supervising producer and director.
Right.
So at that point, Jorge Gutierrez, the creator of the show, he had done character design, but he hadn't run production yet.
Right.
And from my experience up at Wild Brain on the Puccini show, I knew a little bit about running, and from working on your show, and I think
saying how not to do things with me. I'll do
I
the
think
opposite of Butch Hartman.
No, but the Fairly Odd Parents, for people that don't know, was extremely well run. It was very organized. We were on time. We were on schedule. We were on budget. It ran like clockwork, and we do commercial art. So commercial then art. So commerce first, then art, and part of that is being professional, showing up on time, doing what we're supposed to do.
I wish
delivering.
people would understand that more.
And to do good work on schedule.
Yep.
Right. So Fairly Odd Parents, great show. We were winning awards. We were getting things done, getting good ratings.
How many Emmys have you won, by the way?
Two Emmys.
Did you win them for? What'd you win them for?
I won one for storyboarding on Fairly Odd Parents,
right?
And for Dadbracadabra,
which was for Dad. That was where Dad becomes a magician.
Yeah.
We did a Chris Angel thing.
Yeah.
Like Mind Freak. Oh my God. So, did you guys ever see that one, the Mind Freak one?
He's in goth makeup.
Oh God, it was so funny.
Yeah.
It was hysterical. Yeah. Then what was the other Emmy you won?
It was for directing on LT Gray.
Okay, got it.
So Mark
Taylor.
That's
two, so you have 2 Emmys.
2 Emmys.
And I have 0.
So
just
far.
making sure we understand that.
To date.
Today.
Today.
You know what? I realize this. I'm an adult. I can buy trophies now. I can just go buy 2 Emmys if I want and go to the trophy store.
Yeah. Emmys are a little more expensive, so you can So when I won the first one, my parents couldn't be there, but they were so excited, and I was just like, hey, someone mentioned you can get a duplicate. You can get a duplicate. Ooh. Emmy award and give it to your parents. I'm like, that sounds fantastic.
They would love that.
I'll take 2. And they're $5,000.
Oh my
I'm like,
God.
Maybe a photograph. A photograph.
They can hold it and $5,000 for an Emmy?
A piece.
Okay, why don't we go in on another? Yeah. Let's go in on one. There was a guy at Nickelodeon. It was so funny. This guy in the sound booth at Nickelodeon.
Justin?
Different guy.
Oh.
Not going to name the person.
Oh, yeah.
But had
I know.
5 Emmys.
I know the guy you're talking
5
about.
Emmys. 5
5
Emmys.
And one job.
And one job.
To press the button.
And he won. He didn't do all the time.
No.
And but 5 Emmys, and it was like, I don't have one. And he had 5 because he was on all these DreamWorks shows, because Nickelodeon was making all these DreamWorks shows.
Mm-hmm.
Excuse me. And Nickelodeon was making all these DreamWorks shows, and he'd be on the DreamWorks show as the sound engineer.
Yeah.
Pushing the button, sometimes not. Yeah. But he still won 5 Emmys.
Yeah, that's
so
how it
crazy.
goes.
I know. I think you were with me one time when I was actually nominated for a song.
Okay.
And I think you were in the Emmy row with me.
Uh-huh.
And the Emmy tornado came through the audience, and the first 2 rows won Emmys. Yay!
Oh, no,
they got up. Yay! They got up. It skipped our row, and then the row behind us won. It was like, yay! Oh, yeah. I know, because we written a song. It was like, "It's great to be a guy."
Yeah.
Remember that song?
Yeah.
And we also did "What Girls Love." That both nominated the same year. and we lost because we were up against each other.
Yeah,
and
you
then,
split your vote.
Yeah. And then Elvis Presley's girlfriend wrote like a song about children in Africa, and I'm like, we're done.
No,
there's no way.
Sorry.
We're not
You
gonna
can't
win.
compete with that.
We're so done.
can't.
Oh my God, I know. So anyway, so we're going in on an Emmy for $5,000.
Okay.
So you won 2 Emmys.
Yeah.
You were on LT Gray as a producer. Did you have a good time on LT Gray?
I had a great time on that show.
By the way, one of the best looking shows of all time because you were involved.
No. The design was all Jorge and his wife Sandra.
I know the design was, but the storytelling was all you.
Oh, thanks.
So it's fantastic.
I went completely insane on that show. I loved the show so much.
You had told me you went insane on that show. Yeah, I remember you showed me the pilot. Yeah.
So, so I boarded the pilot, and then I'm like, I'm gonna board every episode of this show.
Oh my God.
And someone's like, Dave, that's not possible. Like, okay.
Yes, it is.
Okay, here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna board most of every episode of that series, and they're like, no, you still can't do that. I'm like, I'm gonna do.
You sound like Butch Hartman.
Right. Well,
day one of Fairly Odd Parents.
I'm a strong believer in success, modeling success. So I based how I'm going to run that show on a lot of the things I saw you doing.
Mm-hmm.
So, I did what I called a beat board. So, and they're all online. So I would get every script, and I would board all the key moments of every script. So the beginning, middle, and end, any key action scenes, and then I would give that to the board artists.
And they'd still screw it up.
No, they were amazing. And I would say, listen, this is
amazing.
This is a start. This is for you to build on. If you can do better, do better. If you're in a pinch, just use this. But this is how I'm seeing it. So, because I didn't want to be a reactor. I'd worked for a director he could only tell me what he didn't like. Tell you what he didn't like after the fact.
Right.
And berate you unnecessarily for not reading his mind. Really nice guy, but like, it's just like, okay, if I ever get a job directing, I'm never going to do that.
I will never do that.
I want to set people up for success.
Right.
So I would board out the key moments and give those to the board guys.
Which is a ton of work anyway.
It was too much work. It was too much work. And so then I timed every episode.
Hey, welcome to my world, man.
Right.
That's exactly what I did. Yeah.
So I don't recommend that. There were 3 episodes after the first 18. The first 20. The first initial pickup, I did all of them, and after that, I brought in Gabe Swar to direct half the episodes.
Yes,
so he wound up directing 3 of the back 6. So yeah, we got an initial order of 20. Gabe directed 3 of the back 6.
Yep.
Anyway, it was a great time. Too much work.
And then you came back to Fairly Odd Parents.
Then I came back to Fairly Odd Parents.
And you were like, I can just board now.
I can
lock myself in my room.
I did supervising and storyboards for you. And then Tough Puppy came along. Sorry, that's a long way to
No, that's okay. No, it's fine. Because I remember you showed me the pilot for LT Gray. I absolutely loved it. It was great. You were great. You kept telling me there's this new thing called flash animation. Butch, you'll never have to use another exposure shoot in your life. Because I would always go home with these big exposure shoots.
Yeah.
Because I would get these directors who would time everything.
Yeah.
And I would retime all of it.
Yeah.
And then we get the footage back, and they'd be like, "Man, I really timed that really
Man,
well." I'd be like,
good.
"I'm a genius."
Yeah,
and
you're like, "Yeah,
you
that's
sure are."
Top shelf.
You're top shelf. But I was so paranoid about not having it right because everybody's butts were on the line.
Yeah.
Like, this show has to be good.
Yeah.
So I'd be up till 2 a.m. redoing their sheets. But you told me about this thing called Flash.
Yeah.
And it was like, well, I'll try that day, but I don't really understand it yet. Now I love it and completely appreciate it. But because it's just had to evolve a little bit.